What's up everybody and welcome to another edition of AGR's Pop Culture Reviews, and we're taking it back old school today, back to my 8-bit era. Now, I know that modern gamers were at a bit of a disadvantage when it came to Batman games. Mostly the best game that they got to play when they were kids or growing up was the Arkham games, which were fantastic. But back in the old school 8-bit era, there was a gem of a game that came out, which was simply titled Batman NES, which was amazing. And I was personally really addicted to it. I don't care how many times I beat that game, I would always go back to Blockbuster and rent it over and over again. That's how solid it was. So today we're not only going to be paying an homage to the old school games, but we're also going to continue our line of the miniature statues, which are pretty cool in their own right. So today we're going to be reviewing the DC Collectibles DC Designer Series mini statue of Batman. Let's take a closer look. Now, this is actually a smaller version of the much larger statue, which is around 12 to 13 inches, which is really nice. And obviously, as you can tell, this is inspired by the Frank Miller Batman from The Dark Knight Returns, which is always one of my favorite designs for Batman. Now, simplicity in design is the name of this statue, and that's not a flaw. This thing is absolutely magnificent. And one of the things that I love about it is that it screams attitude. Look at that stance. It is freaking epic. You know, if you put this under the right light with shadowing, etc., this is gonna look freaking monstrous. Not to mention that he's built like a freaking gorilla, which is awesome. The cape, the cowl, the jawline, and most importantly for me, those whited out eyes, which are now iconic in the comic book industry, is amazing. Now, this statue is a textbook example of the fact that size is not everything, because although this is half the size of the original statue, it has a commanding presence, and, most importantly, an incredible amount of detail. Take a look at the sculpt there, near the deltoid muscles. Definitely in the chest, you have that iconic large Batman bat symbol, which is really reminiscent of the Dark Knight series, not to mention the biceps, the forearms, and especially his midsection are really well sculpted. With statues in this scale, half the size, you always run the risk that the level of detail is not going to be there, but that's not a problem with this statue. The bat utility belt in particular is really well done. I love that they used the silver for the center part of the belt, and the actual pouches look amazing, and they're accented with little silver pieces as well. This is pretty good. I mean, I can't complain about this. It looks great, guys. Again, and I can't mention this enough, adding to the overall presence of the statue is the stance, and I absolutely love that his legs are freaking massive. Looks like he's been squatting 400 pounds to get ready for this sculpt. The detail in the quad muscles is great, especially the calves, and the nice folds where the foot meets the ankle is also something that's very impressive. One other thing that I really love about this piece is the fact that you have one leg that's kind of off the actual base, and again, it just gives it this really awesome presence. I'm glad that they went with this design. Now, easily, the best thing about this piece is definitely the cape. The design and its concept is incredible, guys. The sculpt looks great, those folds are amazing. I love that he's actually holding his cape the way that he is in his fist. It looks amazing, guys, and this is one of those statues that you definitely want to have a mirrored back so that you can see the detail 360. This is absolutely beautiful, guys. Amazing. I can't say enough good things about this. Now, the base on this statue is simple, but it says a huge statement about this piece. Batman is such a badass that he doesn't even need to stand with both feet on his own freaking base. This is freaking cool, guys. And again, one of the things that I really love about this piece is that it is small or smaller, but it doesn't need to be so tall to be so badass. I especially just love that simple outline of the bat symbol on this. It looks great, guys. This is magnificently done. Now, I'm gonna ease your anxiety right now about this piece. I say it's smaller, but I don't mean that it is tiny. It's not mini in the truest sense. It's about 7.5 inches from the bottom of the base all the way to the top point of his ear, so it's definitely not tiny. Additionally, these pieces are numbered. There's about 5,000 in total production. I have 3902, so there's plenty of them around so that you guys can collect them. And if you missed out on the original one, the 12-inch one, which is pretty high priced right now, we have this wonderful alternative. It's not only half the price, but it's also half the size if you need to save some room for other collectibles. Now, before I go, I just want to thank the folks over at Big Bad Toy Store for sending this wonderful piece over for review, and if you're interested in this and other collectibles, please visit www.bigbadtoystore.com. Alright everybody, so that's my official review on the DC Collectibles DC Designer Series of the miniature statue of Batman. As always, I thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next AGR's Pop Culture Reviews.